Yeah, yeah. You know I've been ballin'. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Sire, and you are now tuning in to Rhythm of the Game podcast, episode 3.
Lights, please. Turn the cameras on, you can feel me. Lights, please.
Like I said, it's your boy Sire. Welcome to Rhythm of the Game. We are now shooting episode 3 of the podcast. It's crazy to think about it. When we started off before, we talked about the intersection between music, sports, and fashion. Now we're going to be diving into the culture shift of the music industry. Thank you guys for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in. I hope you enjoy. And yeah, come take a journey on me on this next episode 3. So now we're going to shift into the culture shift of the music industry. Since that was actually been crazy. I actually have a few questions to ask you guys, and obviously feel free to drop your comments here on YouTube or on Instagram. So I feel like, how different do you think the industry is now compared to 10 years ago? Well, I think that's an easy question. It was totally different 10 years ago. We're in 2025 now. We're in 2015. People were still, it was going away, but starting to go away, but people were still buying CDs. TikTok wasn't as prominent as it is now. There was nothing about COVID, so people aren't having restrictions about performing at different shows, and it just changed a lot. The sound, the style, because you got to think about it like this. Trap music was always a thing. Trap music was always a thing. But I feel like when people were making trap music back in the day, and this is just one thing that shifted that came to my mind. When people were making trap music back in the day, like the Jeezys, T.I.s, who else we got? Even Wayne. I feel like they were making it to get out of their situation. Versus today, when people are making trap music, they already got the money, they already got the cars, but they're still like in their neighborhoods even after they got money. So that I don't know. To me, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, it does, but it doesn't make any sense. Now, trap music is all about it's more directed towards drill. To more a little more violent than it used to be. Some can disagree, but that's just my perspective. I think the genre trap music and drill are definitely two different things. Like, drill is like the new trap technically, but trap and drill are two different things, if that kind of makes sense. So just touch on that. It's just different because I feel like that shifted the whole culture of music. And I feel like why is because labels saw that it was an easy moneymaker for someone can talk about, oh, I'm gonna kill your op, oh, I'm gonna shoot up this place, I'm gonna shoot her in the face. It's just like versus trap music where it was like, oh, I'm grinding hard to get out of my situation. I want to get my mom out the ghetto. I want to get my sister out the ghetto. This, that, and the third. All my family, I want them to be up in the suburbs. You know what I mean? They don't really talk about that anymore in this new era of trap rap, which is considered drill. So I think that made a huge shift. For the worse, to be honest, because you see a lot of people who lost their lives do the drill music and being on Instagram talking about their ops or their whatever you want to call it. I just think that made a big shift for the worse. Jumping into now that my next question is, do you think the industry now focuses on more viral moments than long-term careers? Absolutely. Absolutely. I had this conversation with my boy Tig a couple weeks ago, and Kev. Shout out my boy Tig and Kev. The music industry is definitely heavily focused on viral moments, and I'll give you an example. What was the dude's name? I think he ended up getting sentenced to like 55 years for a murder case. Tay K or whatever his name is. He had a quick viral moment, right? He did the race. He talked about killing somebody and getting away with it. A year later, he's arrested. He was probably going to be one of the biggest up and coming artists. I think he was like 15 or 16. He was probably going to be the biggest up and coming artist at that time. I think that was around like 2015, 2016. Ended up getting arrested. Label made money off that song. I'm sure that song has like, if not close to it, damn near 1 billion views. Versus back in the day when you had a large influx of artists who were just, had long-term careers. We talk about the Michael Jacksons, the Whitney Houstons. We can go deep into rap, the Ja Rules, the 50 Cents, the Nellies, people like that have long-term careers. Whether people are getting signed after 6 months and then you hear about them for a little bit and then they move on to the next artist, which I see from a business perspective is why the label's trying to do that, but it doesn't help, man. The music industry to me is very oversaturated right now, especially with short-term careers. And it's just like, I don't know, you want to hear more from an artist. You just don't want to be 6 months and it's just like you get bored. Okay, we're going to have the other artists on the show. To me, that's a waste of time and energy and money. So I think labels, like all record labels, I think y'all need to reconsider and go back to the old approach, obviously with a new modern day touch on it. But I think we need to go back to the old approach where these artists are having these long careers and stuff like that. And then another thing is too, why I also think that change from longevity to short-term careers is the people some of these artists have around them. I feel like your team, and I'm going to say this, obviously I don't agree with his stuff, but take someone like Diddy, right? Diddy had a long, even with the short-lived life of one of his artists, Notorious B.I.G., rest in peace. Diddy had a long list of rosters with Bad Boy that went from like 92 to like the mid 2000s, even after Biggie died. You know what I mean? And he had a team around him. No matter what he had going on personally, he built a team around his artists. You know what I mean? And they all felt like a family. Now I feel like that's another thing why there's short-term versus long-term careers, that also there's no really structure to a team is around some people. You know what I mean? Not all artists, which your team helps you have that long career. So that's something also to keep in mind, man. I just think, with labels shelving artists after 6 months of signing them, putting out a song, shelving them to the team, because the team really matters. And from an artist perspective in general, just wanting that longevity career. People get, and I never, touch a ton of money, but like people get $200, $500,000 to even $1 million sometimes, and they think, oh, okay, I made this one song, I could just chill back. No, man, that's a recoupment. You're gonna have to pay that back. That's an advance. It's a loan. So and that's why I said and that all stems from the artist himself and the team. So you got to be smart. You got to have the right people around. You got to have the right managers. Got to have the right accountant on your team. Got to have people telling you no and not being yes men. So that's something just consider. Just team. And labels, like I said, not shelving the artist like they do. You can't bring an artist out for 6 months. Okay, he's hot, but okay, he's getting kind of boring. Let's move on to the next one. Like, no, man, you like, we're supposed to build that up. That's what, I don't know. To me, that's why I think a label should be more destined to do. Another thing, a question I had. Do you think social media has been more of a help or a distraction for up and coming artists? I think it's 50-50, right? I think we're going to talk about the cons and then we're going to go into the pros. The cons of social media is just that, like, not everybody is getting seen. Social media also shelves artists. I mean, a lot of up and coming artists because of, you may have to pay for ads, or you may, not be in this person's feed just because of the algorithm, so that has something to do with it too. And then social media, I just feel like it's, it brought the worst out in artists or I say creatives in general, just because not everybody is decent with social media. So, if you want to be decent with if you're not good at social media, you may have to find someone else that, like a social media expert who's going to help you. But obviously that's going to cost. And a lot of people don't have these fees to pay. So, some people may not have internet at the house. So I don't know, just all different variables. I think social media it's a gift and a curse. I feel like before social media, people were out and about. They were selling CDs at and tapes out the trunk of their cars. They were putting laminate papers on stop signs and light poles and everything in their community. You know what I mean? So you didn't have social media back then, or it wasn't as prevalent. The internet, I should say. So you were doing everything literally the physical way, like in person. So I think social media is also just a look. Just because you have 120,000 followers doesn't mean you get 120,000 plays. A lot of those are purchased. A lot of those people don't even interact with your stuff. Like I said, because of the algorithm. So social media for up and coming artists, I think those are the cons. Now for the pros, I think social media, that's why I said this is 50-50. For the pros, I think it's a good thing to have social media. For the pros, you can be seen by anyone. You have the option to promote and market your stuff on there to the audience of your liking. So if you go on Instagram, it has like a little filter when you're doing paid advertisements. It lets you basically choose your audience for yourself, right? You have a chance to connect with other up and coming artists, people who are already in the game on social media. So that way you're not phone calling like you used to do. You're not getting to this person to get to the man. Social media is like your direct source for, I guess, anybody in the music industry. So I think it's definitely an easy way to connect with people, depending on what field or area you may be your expertise in. So the pros and cons of social media for up and coming artists is hard because not everyone can. Social media kind of sometimes it's not just Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, etc. The algorithm may not be meant for your to your liking. On the other hand, you can still connect with people to get yourself out there. So whether you're using hashtags, paid advertisements, you're hitting up somebody and they're reposting your stuff. It don't cost anything to repost. It's just, about getting lucky, I guess. But yeah, those are the questions I had for that. And then we'll dive more into this on the next topic. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Sire, and you are now tuning in to Rhythm of the Game. All right, y'all, and we're back with more questions pertaining to the music industry. This is one of my favorite topics. Another question I had that come up that just came to mind is the role in TikTok and how it plays in breaking new artists. TikTok and how it plays in breaking new artists. Yeah, I feel like TikTok has been pretty good for up and coming artists and even established acts, right? I feel like it's more popular to like the younger generation section. Your TikTok is shot up in the ranks on from a social media platform perspective. In like the last 4 or 5 years. So I think TikTok has definitely been great stepping stone for breaking new artists. A lot of people got discovered on there. I don't know if anyone ever heard of Armani White. He's from Philly. Shout out Armani White. He made this song, Glock Tuck, Big T-shirt, Billie Eilish. I don't know if everybody heard that song. That's a good song. He's from Philly too. Shout out Armani White. But I know he actually had a clip on TikTok. I think I watched it like 20 times because the clip was it was just so organic. It was him, his boys in the studio, and they were actually singing the Billie Eilish song prior to it even releasing. So I think the anticipation that what I'm getting at is that anticipation that he built up into the song release was phenomenal, right? So TikTok has a way of breaking artists' records before they break themselves. TikTok is like a virtual A&R in a sense, right? So he was someone that came to mind that I guess TikTok really caught the attention of that song and just took it to the next level. And as you can see, obviously he's an established act. There are a couple other people that I'm trying to think of that blew up on TikTok, but I can't think of right now. But yeah, TikTok has definitely been essential for up and coming artists. I think TikTok is phenomenal. I didn't agree with it at first. I'm just like, oh my goodness, this one more social media app that we got to worry about. Why? Like, what are we doing? Can't we just focus on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook? Like, why do we need a TikTok? And then I saw how the reaction, a lot of artists were getting from it. I was just like, whoa, okay, this may be the new wave. Let me try to dive in this. Actually, funny story too, on TikTok. I had a song called Mo Bounce that I released probably like several years ago. And I didn't think nothing of it. I honestly didn't even like the song. I thought it was whack. I kind of just put it out there just to put it out there. I heard the beat on YouTube, used it, and the rest was history. I put it out there. I think at first it only had like 1,000 like plays on Spotify. Literally within like 2 to 3 weeks, or we'll just say 2 to 3 weeks to like a month or so, it shot up to like 40,000 plays. Then, a month from there, it shot up to 62,000 plays and etc. And I'm just like, what is going on? So I look on, I'm just, looking at analytics as an artist, as we all do. And I see on TikTok, it has like 150 videos made for. I'm just like, what the hell? This blew this song up in like a couple months. I'm just like, I didn't even know about this. And it just kind of just took off, and it had like 62,000 plays, which is a milestone for me, because I think that was my most streamed song, and I think still is, on Spotify and across all platforms. So I think across all platforms, it may have like 100K, a little over 100K. But yeah, it was cool, man, because, as an artist, looking on social media, you seeing people dancing, cooking to your song, playing sports to your song, and I don't know, just make you feel good. So, and all that a lot of that momentum came just from TikTok. So just looking at that, like, made me feel good, and then made me feel a different way about TikTok. So I was like, damn, I really should start utilizing this more as an artist, just to, get my stuff out there, because you never know who it can reach. Just, like those plays on Spotify. Yeah, so TikTok, I would say, has definitely had a major influence on artists, and I'm excited to see TikTok grow even more within the next couple of years, especially with AI. No telling what TikTok's going to be able to do. And what changes am I hoping to see in the music industry? Another question I had is, what changes do I hope to see in the music industry over the next 5 years? I'm hoping the music industry is, I'm looking for labels to develop acts more and more. I feel like it's cool if you're coming in off the street, you already have your own following. You, all you need is the extra push. You already have the money, you got the cars, you got all the stuff like a normal artist would have. But I don't know. I feel like we need to go back into the roots, and where in the 90s, they were getting people who had nothing, literally broke. They're literally spitting out their pain to try to get themselves out of the situation. So I think I would like to see more artist development from a business aspect. I feel like there's not enough artist development, and if there is, I don't see it much. I don't work in the music industry, but I don't see it much. I just feel like spending more time with an artist would just, I don't know, help them feel better about themselves too, rather than just somebody coming in off the street that got their money already, they got their stuff, they just need the extra push. If that was the case, they could have just went to the bank with they had got a 800 credit score and get a $500,000 loan. That's all the labels is doing. They're just taking a loan and, or the money that they have invested in their company and putting it into another artist. So that's literally how it works. That's how anything works, really. So I feel like it would be, I don't know, I feel like it would be more worthwhile, and you would have more longevity for artists and their careers if we focused on, more artist development. So that's the change I would like to see in the next 5 years. Another change too I would like to see is more rock bands I feel like the decline of rock music, like rock music is still prevalent to this day. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like the decline of rock bands itself has just kind of just took a downward spiral. You got people like the All American Rejects. You got people like Green Day. You got people like Sum 41, Sublime. I'm just naming just a handful of bands. There's plenty of more, but like we don't have that. That music industry is missing the diversity. We need rock music, man. We need that, go up and go get it. We need that feel good pump. You know what I'm saying? Like we need more rock bands to be prevalent. So I don't know and I know people are still, we still have rock bands from the mid 2000s, the late 90s, et cetera, still touring and doing their thing. But we need some new up and coming rock bands too. That's something I think that's also missing is the diversity of music. We got hip hop, got country, you got some rock stuff. But sometimes I feel like I can't really define like what is rock anymore. You know what I mean? So more rock bands I would like to see in the next 5 years, man. I would feel really good about the music industry if they made those two transitions. Also invested more into your music video shoot. Man, I feel like these people had like, big budgets and they were storytelling. Now I feel like we standing on the block, we at a grocery store, we at a gas station. Like what is the point of that? I mean, I get it, you know what I mean? Especially it's for a different audience, but like I don't want to see that all the time. Like where's the correlation? Where does the direction go from you, saying you going get all this money, but you at a gas station, like, and you got a cup, and like that. Just, I don't know. I just wanted to connect more. We need more. We need these directors to step it up a little bit more. And I get it. People are pushing out music. It's a new modern day era. People are want to see stuff at the fast pace, but let's take our time, right? Shout out my boy Cam at High Law Productions. When we shoot music videos, we take our time. We don't just want to shoot at a gas station like your normal, I don't know, your local Burger King. I'm just throwing stuff out there, but I think there needs to be more creativity in music videos. There's only a select few artists that I know do that, from Blast to Friday, to Chris Brown still, Future even, and Lil Wayne still killing it too, and Drake. You know what I mean? Drake still even, for as big as he is and established from the establishment that he grew over the past like 15 plus years, he even still putting effort in his music videos. You know what I mean? So that's just something I think the music industry needs to consider, is put more effort in these music videos. The directors, y'all need to step your game up. Put more effort into these music videos. I want to be able to feel it, not just listen to it. I want to be able to feel it when I'm watching it. You know what I mean? Make music videos fun to watch again, like we did in 2005, when we were growing up, 2006, etc. Artist development, and that's really it, man. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll be back after a brief intermission. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Sire, and you are now tuning in to Rhythm of the Game. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rhythm of the Game, episode 3. And Sire, shout out High Law Productions on the production. This next segment, we're going to be discussing my 3 favorite artists in the music game, and just some things I want to touch on about them. So, my top 3 favorite artists in the music game to this day. Drum roll, please. Blast, Friday, and Leon Thomas. Those are my top 3 people in the music game that I listen to. And also, shout out Fed to God too, because he's on my list as well. I should have said top 4, but he's on my list as well. I listen to a lot of Fed. I'm not just saying this because I now reside in Pittsburgh, but shout out Fed. I listen to a lot of his music. Very dope artist. Taylor Gang rapping, you know, so shout out Fed. To kind of start off how I first discovered these artists, man. So we'll start off with Blast, right? Blast, I discovered Blast in probably like 2018 or so. 2019, I forget the time, but I was listening to the song he had. And I'm a big West Coast advocate too. Like I love West Coast music. I was listening to a song he had called Gang Slide because he came out with an EP called No Love Lost. So I'm on YouTube one day and I'm just like, yo, like this artist called Blast. I'm like, okay, I'll check him out, see what he got going on. I think it was like pre-pandemic or during the pandemic when it first started. I listened to this song called Gang Slide. I was just like, yo, this song is hot. And just so y'all know, Blast is spelled BLXST. For y'all know, shout out Blast and the Eagle Gang. Yeah, man, Blast. I listened to Gang Slide, was one of the first songs I heard by him. Then I started tapping into his other stuff. Yeah, he Blast is just a dope artist. That's the type of artist that you knew grew up in the church and that you know it just has some soulful feeling about him. Like he can rap, he can sing, he can play the instruments, piano, guitar, keyboard. Like that dude is just dope. And honestly, he is hands down my favorite artist. Like if I can pay any amount of money to see anybody live, it would be him. I would pay whatever to see Blast live. Because he's just a dope artist, man. I just think he got it. You know, you have your artists that can sing, but they can't really rap that good. Or they can rap, vice versa. He got it all, man. And he's just somebody I have on repeat like every day, every single day. Who else did I say? Leon Thomas. Oh man, Leon Thomas is dope. Obviously, I heard him from that song Mutt, and I did not know he was in the show Victorious. That's random as hell. Did not know he was in that show until I found out from one of my coworkers. So, yeah, shout out Leon Thomas. That song Mutt, that got to be the best song of the year, man. That song is just like, if you didn't win 1 Grammy for that, you need like 3 or 4 Grammys because that song is just so well written. The production on it is phenomenal. And I heard that song probably like a year or 2 ago. And just when I first heard it, I was just like, oh my goodness. Like, and I think he wrote the song and you don't hear too much good songwriting anymore. I mean, you do, but like that. And it was just so simple. Like it reminded me of like something like Quincy Jones would write. Shout out Quincy Jones. If y'all don't know who Quincy Jones is, I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but Quincy Jones is one of the most famous producers, songwriters, musicians to ever live. He's responsible for a lot of acts, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, etc. Shout out Quincy Jones, may God rest in peace. But may God he rest in peace. I'm sorry. But yeah, when I listened to Leon Thomas, I thought Quincy Jones wrote that. Because I'm just like, this sounds like something he would write. But I think Leon Thomas wrote that song. And that song was just phenomenal. Like one of the best well-written songs. And I tapped into a lot of his other music too. But yeah, Leon Thomas is just such a dope artist and musician. So shout out Leon Thomas. You would keep killing it. I'm excited to see what you have in store for the people. And I definitely am going to pop out to one of your shows. Next artist is Friday. A lot of people don't know this, but me and Friday actually went to school with each other. I went to Penn State, Berks with Friday before I transferred up to Maine. I knew Friday since like 2014, man. I knew Friday when Friday was playing the piano in the 525 apartments, you know, playing the piano in the dorms, playing the piano in Tully's. Friday, no. Shout out my man Friday. He know, cause I actually made a record with him too back in the day. Yeah, I'm gonna post it up on here because I don't like saying it. But I'm gonna say it. It's called That Nigga. But I made a song with him and he gave me a phenomenal hook. So yeah, that song was, I think we made that song back in like 2014, 2015. So how I heard about Friday, I've been to what Friday was. Like I said, I know Friday since 2014. I know Friday for almost like 10 years now. He's just always been a dope artist. It's crazy too, man, because like seeing someone you actually know get to a certain level, it's amazing, man. And I wish him nothing but the best, because I saw that dude grind it out. Like, I'm talking about from not having a dollar to his name to now being a multi-million-dollar platinum artist. Like, Friday, man, like, I wish you nothing but the best. My favorite record by Friday is probably, for my real Friday fans, is probably Know the Truth. Oh my goodness. Know the Truth is just amazing. Like, I can listen to that on a long car ride. I play that back like twice a week, because the song is just like, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like damn, like, it's crazy. Like, yeah, Friday is just, he's just a good vibe, man. And I'm excited to see. I think Friday is if he's not already, Friday is gonna be one of the biggest artists in the world in the next 2 years, man. Shout out Friday, shout out his whole team. Yeah, man, Friday has just been killing it. So yeah, Know the Truth is definitely my favorite song by Friday. I would love for y'all to tap into all these artists: Blast, Leon Thomas, and Friday. And then, like I said, special shout out to Fred, the God. One of my favorite songs by him is Activated. Shout out to Will from Taylor Gang. Shout out to Fed. Shout out to Wiz. Shout out to Chevy Woods. Shout out to the whole Taylor Gang. So yeah, Fed is another one on my list, which is a dope Pittsburgh artist. I just think he just got it, man. When I think of Fed, I think of like Jeezy, T.I., Shawty Low, Fed. Just he just the hot boys, you know what I mean? Wayne, BG, Turk, you know, Juvie. Fed just got that grunt feeling to him, and it also helps that he's from Pittsburgh, because it's like a different sound. You know what I mean? We got that rap, we got that swag to him. So yeah, my 3 favorite artists, their favorite records, and then Fed is definitely a +1, because we shouting out Pittsburgh, baby. And we're gonna tune into the next bullet. We're gonna tune into the next bullet points of questions, and yeah, I can't wait to show y'all what we got next. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Sire, and you are now tuning in to Rhythm of the Game. All right, y'all. Welcome back to another section of episode 3, Rhythm of the Game. Now we're gonna dive into some more questions. What's something unique about each artist that makes them stand out? First, we'll start with Blast. I just think Blast if anyone has ever been over to the West Coast, you just see people in the West Coast just got that swag to them. And obviously, Blast is my height, so short kings rule. So I just think he has that swag, that grittiness, but still like soulful feel to him at the end of the day. So it's Blast is definitely dope. He just got that swag to it, man. How he wears his shades. I don't know what type of shades you call it, but like a lot of people on the West Coast wear their shades, like colorful shades. I don't know what to call them, but yeah, man, he just has his own unique style to him. And just how he walks, how he kind of carries himself as an artist too. Just how he talks. He's very calm, very relaxed, but still got that swagger to him. You know what I mean? So I think that's what makes him unique. And the fact that he can sing and play an instrument, all 3 of them can do that, but the fact that he can sing and play an instrument and like hit the correct melodies, I just think that's amazing, man. You don't see too many artists still playing instruments to this day, especially when they're an established act. And he's a pretty established act. So the fact that he can do that is just, it's wild. Leon Thomas. Leon just reminds me of like, it gives me like a Rasta feel, right? He got the long dreads. He also seems very calm, cool, and collected. But when he gets on stage, it's like, and I never saw him perform live. I just saw him from, different videos online. When he gets on stage, it's just like, wow, like this guy's amazing. Plays the guitar. I think he may play left-handed. I'm not sure, but I don't quote me on it. But I think he may play left-handed. How he just like does his guitar solos. I think it's just it's cool, man. Like, yeah, Leon Thomas just has that swagger about him. And then he reminds me of like a 1970s, like he reminds me of like he has that 1970s style to him, like a Rasta because of his long dreads, and then that 1970s style to him. Because every time I see him, he looks like he's in like very like business casual clothes, like or some people would call them church clothes. He always got like slacks, nice shoes on. His hair is always done, and he puts himself together well. So I think Leon Thomas definitely gives me like a roster, but like a '70s vintage type vibe. I'm into that era, so I think that's why I'm able to relate to him because I'm just like, damn, that's something that's the vibe I have a lot from a professional standpoint. So that's what makes him very unique. And that he writes his own music, he produces his own music. You don't see a lot of people doing that nowadays as well. They have multiple writers, which is fine. Definitely not knocking anyone on that because you need assistance especially when it comes to trying to write a hit song. But that is definitely what I like about him. Friday, Friday, oh man, Friday is definitely uh somebody who just got the swaggers. He's Friday kind of reminds me of like an athlete. Like he got that athlete swagger because he was pretty good, especially in in college. He played a little bit of basketball, and we would go shoot around. So Friday got that basketball type of feel to him, that swagger. It's because he's like 6'1", 6'2", so he got that swagger to him. You see him with the black cutoff vest on. He always got a nice watch, nice chain. Looking up the par. He just got that basketball feeling. That basketball type feeling to him. Like he looks like an NBA player when he's on his way out the tunnel or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Uh, he reminds me of that. I think also too, Friday has a unique voice that doesn't sound like anybody. Like he is someone I can say who does not sound like anybody in the music industry, like I've ever heard. Because I think it also has to do because with obviously his background, him being Haitian. Shout out to my Z's and just his his demeanor. Friday is just he's different, man. I don't know how to describe it. He's just different. That's why you and I always knew this about him too. Every time I would listen to him, I'm like, yo, he's singing like it's like a deep like monotone, but like it sounds amazing, man. Like, and it just has that soulful feeling that almost like make you cry when you listen to his music. So he's just very unique in so many different ways. So yeah, Friday is dope. Friday is very dope. They all got a unique style to them. They all have just something that is eye catching. As an artist, I feel like you have to be eye catching. Your music just can't be good. You have to have something that's gonna catch the people's attention, right? So just diving into their style and what makes them who they are is important because that catches the people's eyes, and that's how they caught my attention. I don't There's not a lot of artists, and I will say this too, being honest with you, that catch my attention like those three do. Uh, besides like the Chris Browns and Michael Jacksons, those people who've been in it for a long time. But I'm talking about modern day artists like right now. Those three, Leon Thomas, Friday, and Blast, they catch my attention. They caught my attention off rip, because they just had some unique, their unique style about them. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely dope to just compare and contrast like the different styles of artists, which I think is important. And it makes them feel more unique. You know what I'm saying? Next question I kind of wanted to go into uh, was how do these artists influence my own taste or creative style? Man, kind of. sum it up all in one, I feel like, oh no, we'll break it up. We'll break it up. I feel like Blast kind of puts me in that feel good, like, yo, bop mood, because y'all listen to my music. It's like upbeat, soulful type vibe, right? So Blast kind of puts me in that mood where it's like, yo, like I'm feeling it, like I'm feeling good. Like, hold on, like I'm about to catch this. You know what I mean? Like, yo, let's go have a summer. Blast puts me in the vibe where I want to just make music for the summer, for the people going outside, partying outside, going to day parties. That's the type of feeling Blast puts me in. So, and I feel like that correlates to my style. I get a lot of my influence from him. Just if anyone didn't know, a lot of my influence from this new age artist comes from Blast, like hands down. So yeah, I think Blast is somebody who I felt like I almost feel like I can relate to him in a sense, because I think he said he grew up in the church, and I know anybody who makes music like that grew up in the church, hands down. And because it's like soulful but it's upbeat at the same time, and he gonna give you some bars on top of that too. So that's how I feel like that Blast relates to my own creative style. Next, Leon Thomas. I feel like when I want to make a slower song, um, for people to listen to, not really up tempo. I feel like Leon Thomas kind of fits my style in that way, and also his writing style too. Watch a couple of his interviews. I watch his live performances online, and I just see like, okay, even some studio sessions. I'm like, okay, when I was having some writer's block, I kind of used him for motivation to say, okay, boom, this is how I can structure this. Or I'll listen to a song of his, like Mutt, for instance. That's one of his popular songs. Mutt, for instance, I'll listen to that, and I'll literally break down everything for bar. I'll pause the song, listen to it again, pause it, etc. And I'll break down bar from bar, word from word. And I'll just be like, okay, he wrote it like this, he said it like this. Let me see how I can do it like this. And kind of just take that notes from him and kind of flip it and make it my own style. And yeah, he's helped me with a lot of writing. He's helped me with a lot of writing of my own material. You know what I mean? So he's definitely helped in that aspect. Um, Friday is definitely a more soulful type feel. I feel like Friday is someone I just felt more connected to as far as like church wise. I feel like Friday has brought me back to my roots in church. I know I said earlier, Blast kind of uh, influenced me from a church aspect, but Friday's somebody like, yo, if I'm gonna write this song, I'm gonna write it right. I'm gonna make people cry in a good way. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make them feel something. So if I'm writing something, whether it has to do with like, my grandmother or somebody that I lost, I'm going to Friday and I'm getting influence from him, because he's gonna take it back to that route. Because a lot of his songs very deep, they make you feel some type of way. So I feel like those three people are that's how they kind of influence my creative style. So yeah, I do appreciate you guys for tuning in. And if I had to introduce y'all to one of these artists, the song I would play by Blast is Be Alone. The song I would recommend by Leon Thomas is Mutt, obviously, or Dog. And the song I would recommend by Friday is Baddest in the Room. Thank you for tuning in to Rhythm of the Game, episode 3. We'll see y'all soon for the next one. Peace.
We gon' take it higher, higher. We gon' take it higher, higher. About to set this shit on fire, fire. About to set this shit on